Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is April 30th, the last day of April here, and we're wrapping it up with a lot of sunshine here across the region. But we do have some lower level clouds here. The marine layers in there across San Diego and some of Los Angeles. And if I go back and forth here, you can see that kind of burning off a little bit there and moving around. And we have the potential for a system rolling down here as we go through the weekend. We're going to dive into those details a little bit. But in the meantime, we have some of this northwest and these northerly winds, some westerly winds across the transverse and peninsular ranges here, and some gusty winds across Nevada and Arizona at times for the next couple of days. If we take a look at that here, you can still see the wind advisory out towards the transverse ranges here as well. There's even a high surf advisory out there right now also. And you can see some of these gusty winds here, mainly western I-5 corridor here. So it shows Antelope Valley foothills. And yeah, this was updated yesterday, 4 p.m. here, but it's going to continue on for the next few days. And I'll show you that in the weather models here in a moment. We also have a warming trend here as we go through Thursday and Friday. As you can see, Bakersfield getting up towards 86 here. You can see Merced bumping up to 85. But then we have the cooling trend this weekend. It looks like a system is going to try to swing by here, and you can see places like Merced, and Lemoore out there, Visalia, Porterville, Delano, Bakersfield dropping down from their lofty mid and upper 80s for some locations. You can see in Death Valley going from 100 to 94 there as well. And checking out the wind advisory for some of the valley areas here. I just want to kind of show you what this entails. And you can see this does include some of Northern California as well, especially on the headlands, localized gusts to 40 miles per hour. So heads up for that. This is just a probability of wind gusts over 25 miles per hour here on the map shown on the right. But again, this is the wind advisory here across some of the Central Valley. And you can see gusts to 45 possible all the way through 5 p.m. Wednesday right now. So heads up for that. Strongest winds expected along and west of Interstate 5. Now, taking a look at the wind forecast here, you can see Sacramento gusting to 30, Vacaville up 35 here, and there's some 45 mile per hour gusts. You can't rule them out here, but just it'll get your attention a little bit here. So just to have a heads up for that. And you can see the strong winds across the coastal areas as we speak. Right about here is where we are right now. And you can see as we go the next few days, we got the gusty north and northwest winds coming down through the valley areas. And of course, that means some very strong winds for the transverse ranges to Tehachapi, Mojave out here. Some of the desert areas as well, westerly winds, and you can see this is persistent strong wind out of the northwest and down the valley areas, including places like Nevada and Las Vegas will be gusty at times as well. We're now looking all the way in towards Thursday morning. You can see some of these strong winds continue all the way on in through Thursday afternoon when the North American model wraps up here. Now, taking a look at the composite reflectivity, just want to run this by you guys here. We're not expecting much in the way of precipitation, except for mainly some central portions here of Nevada on in towards Utah as we go through tonight into tomorrow morning. And then we've got a weak system that'll try to slide down here. Most of that shower activity should stay across Oregon, but we could see some of that move down into California as we go through Thursday morning into early Thursday afternoon. But we've got a better system coming here as we go through this weekend. More on that here in a moment. And Phoenix talking about some prolonged minor heat risk here. You can see some temperatures in the mid 90s. Not anything like what you're not used to here, but it is a little bit early and it's a little bit above average there. And if there's the National Weather Service excuse me, spotter talk here. You can see this does, Pahrump, Nevada, for example. You can see the date and time, Boulder City, Nevada here. And you can go in there and become a National Weather Service Skywarn spotter here. So very interesting. Click on their link there if you want. Go to the National Weather Service, Las Vegas. Now, taking a look at 18,000 feet, 500 millibars. If I put this into motion, you can see we got these systems kind of swinging through here, but then we've got a better one that's coming in here as we go through the day Saturday. And this could bring some precipitation a bit further south here. And that's one we're going to be watching closely. More on that here in a moment. And then you can see we don't have much of any ridging going on. We flatten things out, and then we start to build a ridge maybe towards the end of the following week here. And kind of a little bit of a cutoff low here, maybe not even cut off, but right off the coastline here. And we'll be watching that. We're looking way off into the future here. And then you can see at the very end of the run, a nice big ridge building out over the Pacific Ocean here. We'll see how that trends over the next few days. So if we take a look, you can see the systems moving through the Pacific Northwest here. Here goes the one through Thursday morning that might bring a little bit of precipitation in Northern California and mostly for Oregon. But then this weekend system rolls down, and you can see that would bring some measurable rain to some of the Bay Area, Sacramento, for example, maybe even down towards Bakersfield a little bit, maybe even Southern California, especially the higher terrain as we go on in through Saturday into Sunday morning is what I'm showing you here. So that's something to watch here. We're going to watch that. It could bring some gusty winds with it as well. Now, taking a look at total precipitation in inches, you got the European on the left versus the GFS on the right. So we're going to scroll through here, and we're not going through Thursday, and you can see, again, some of that precipitation for Northern California. And as we go on in towards the weekend, though, you can see the GFS and the European Artificial Intelligence model both showing some precip. The GFS even more down towards Southern California, some of the Central Coast areas as well, getting some nice precipitation amounts. So definitely take it here in early May for sure. And I don't want to get hopes up too much just yet here. We're going to continue to watch this day by day, so come back tomorrow for the latest for sure on that, but it doesn't look too bad right now. And if we take a look at high temperatures for today, you can see some of these temperatures getting up at towards 80, some upper 70s out there as well. The desert areas, of course, are always warmer. And as we scroll through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we peak here probably on Friday for many of the areas, maybe getting up in the upper 90s here for Death Valley. But look at Saturday. Look at some of these temperatures really dropped off. You're dropping these temperatures by over 20 degrees here as you go from Friday to Saturday, and then Sunday keeping things suppressed a bit here as that system moves through. And then we start to bounce back as we go through the following week here, and we may warm up again towards the end of the next week here. But of course, plenty of time to worry about that. If we look at Big Bear City here, California, average temperature this time of year is in the red line, and you can see kind of hovering below average here for the next 2 weeks or so. And same thing down here. This is the low temperatures. Average temperature this time of year is in the blue line, and you can see hanging out below average here, and you see some sub-freezing temperatures still out and about, which means cold temperatures, of course, for the higher excuse me, for the higher terrain where I have a lot of viewers also. Now, taking a look at Modesto, California, you can see, again, the red line is the average temperature for this time of year, and you can see the cool, chilly trough that would move by here. Modesto, California, check it out. You're talking about, 10, 15 degrees below normal here, and same with the overnight lows, pretty chilly. And this is Red Bluff, California. You see the definite cool down coming here as we go through the weekend. And some precipitation for Red Bluff. The ensemble's between 1.5 inches towards an inch here as we go on in through the weekend, in towards the mid portion of next week. We'll see how that trends as well. Not a bad signal there. Crescent City, of course, up on Northwest California coastline, better chances for precipitation. The European ensemble showing right around 3 inches by the time we go through the mid portion of next week. Bakersfield, California, you can see maybe squeezing out a little tiny bit out of that system. Not talking about too much. You're just talking about maybe 0.05 of an inch, maybe 1/10 of an inch of rain. In Monterey, California, get a little bit more out towards the coastline there as well. Maybe a couple tenths of an inch, 0.3 of an inch. We'll see how that trends. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, and this one is issued yesterday, and you can clearly see the below normal signal here for the West Coast. You can talk about that trough rolling through here. So again, we will be breaking it down and watching it day by day. And there's the above average signal for the same time frame. This is from May 5th through May 9th. And if we look at the snow water equivalent, doing quite well. We're still at about 130% of historical mean for this time of year. And you can really see how the snowpack really starts to decline at this time of year. And we've started that decline here, but we had a little bit of a bump here. And yeah, it's not looking too bad right now. And with the cooler weather here for the next week to 10 days, it's not going to eat away at that snowpack perhaps as quickly as it historically would have. So anyway, I hope you guys get to get out there and enjoy that weather. Just watch out for that gusty wind, and then we'll continue to break down that system that's rolling through this weekend, bringing some below normal temperatures here across much of California at least. And we'll continue to watch that day by day. Hope you guys are having a good day, and we'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.